Let's get into the trade of the day for today. Today was a little bit, honestly, it was a hard trading day. It was a rough trading day. It was, for the most part, choppy. We're going to get into it, though. Go to the Discord. See all the inputs are going to be accurate from today's date. We're not doing that yesterday. We're doing this right here because I'm doing this a day late. And that is today's date. Theoretically, on the chart, you can see the chart time is matching. Inputs are matching. Yada, yada, yada. Just going to reset so the table up top in the top right is accurate. But wait for it to load. As you can see, market opened. We are in a trend day with positive gamma. We're not going to be fading these EM lines and key levels. You get a break above, kind of short break, retest, then we're chopping around it. Then we get a full solid break, continue up, chopping around, kind of bouncing off of VWAP to get up there. We break above the full EM, get a kind of break below again, similar with the first EM. This time we're breaking below, continuing down. Just want to go back and highlight here that the indicator, as we get into this chop around the upper EM, let's show, I think right here. Yep, the table switches from trend to range, as you can see. And then from here, we actually continue to range around, right? And then we get to our first setup right here where we break below, come up and retest. This honestly would have been a good setup, but it would not have been the best setup of the day. Even though it played out and the best setup of the day didn't necessarily play out, this still wouldn't have been the best setup of the day. Right here, so we're kind of bouncing again. We're under that EM. We're bouncing below. We're in an overall bullish trend. I put this volume profile tool around the range that we're now trading down into. And as you can see, that value area low aligns up pretty well with this level. We get close and we reject off of VWAP. And then we trade up to this upper VWAP band and back to the full EM. This would have been a really good setup as we formed an SMT. I personally don't think it would have been the best setup of the day. This was still a really solid setup as we are in a very big premium. We're starting to chop down. We get that SMT at this key level. You could have put your stop, at this SMT protected high. That fair value gap, I had it at before. This would have been a really good trade, and this would have been an obvious target. You could target this low just before this huge cluster of potential resistance, and there was a lot you could have done with this. This would have been a really good trade, but again, not the best trade of the day in my opinion. This is where we get the best trade of the day. This trade has, in my opinion, the best setup, but it didn't play out. And no strategy is 100% win rate. Sometimes the best setups cannot play out, and this is a prime example of that. So we had an SMT, the value area low aligned up really well. We got a nice rejection candle. We're in that range, so technically we should still see a continuation up. That was my thesis. We had the key opening, the first AM, EM, that SMT, VWAP, and we just dipped below both SMAs, the last, I think, 50 SMA right there. This would have been really prominent, but as you can see, we actually do not play out. This trade does not play out. And even though we get that first initial all right pump, let's replay this here. This would not have been, let's say you go break even at 30 points or wherever, I actually want to pull up and see here. Let me grab right here. And we'll put on this range. And let's say you want to target the value area high or low. Oh, we're already in that value area, so maybe you target, the value area high. That could be another target, but as you can see here, this just did not play out. Maybe you go break even after this first move. I don't know. That's kind of tight. Likely, this would have been a stop-loss trade, but I still think this trade had the best confluences, but it just didn't play out, No one strategy, like I said, is 100% win rate, so, you can have the best setup and it can still lose, and that's perfectly fine and normal to your strategy, From here, we get a few retests, like right here, and then we kind of just bounce again from EM to EM line, and then we hit a little consolidation. But for the rest of the day, for the most part, we were just consolidating. Not a whole lot to see. Honestly, not the best trading day. That first setup was really good. The second setup, in my opinion, was better, but it didn't play out like the first setup. So, a lot you could have done today. A lot that could have went wrong. A little bit that could have gone right. There was actually a decent amount that could have gone right. Say you went break even on that second trade. If you take that second trade or took that second trade, or that first trade, if you took that, yeah. But that's it for today, guys.